said.
We're live.
I'm sure he does. We're live.
We're live. Yeah, we're live.
Are we live?
We're live. Hello.
God.
Is it on?
Hello.
We're
everybody.
back,
Hi.
guys. Dude, how was we take a little hiatus in January, into December to January. We're back in February with Trailer Talk. How was everybody's hiatus? Did everybody get a chance to recharge? Watch some trailers. And gorge on some pop culture. See what I did there?
Define hiatus.
Yeah. Hiatus as in we didn't make content, but yeah, it's not like we weren't working our tails off.
Yeah, we didn't make content.
No.
Bullshit, we didn't. We'd never stop. It's nuts. We're suckers for punishment.
Pornhub
And
doesn't count.
Steph, if anybody, Steffi, are you even sleeping these days?
I'm a machine. I'm not a real person, actually. I'm just an AI.
You are an editing machine.
She's crushing it.
Stephanie's a paradise, man.
Yeah.
Well, we got some locals back. Some of the gang are
regulars.
here. Stark Evil,
Yeah.
Chris,
Hi, everybody. Hey,
Brandy,
See some
Luke.
new fit. City Hunter.
City Hunter.
Ooh,
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Hello,
Hey, Creed's here. Hey, Creed.
Hey, Creed. What's up, buddy?
We're not giving Creed enough work when you know he's hanging out on CouchSoup.
Oh,
Get back to work.
Yeah. Creed's going to come in with an anonymous name now.
Everybody gets a pass.
He's going to spell it with a C.
Trailer Talk.
We still know it's you, Creed.
Yeah.
Hey, Wayne.
Sus.
Hey, Brandy.
Hey, Tina.
Matt. So
Maria.
CouchSoup.com is live, guys. We have a live web. It's insane. Go check it out. I don't want to do like the sales plug, but it's actually pretty dope. All of our new content's going to be on CouchSoup, as well as the YouTube channel that you're watching this on right now. But the website, we got like new articles almost daily, pop culture oriented, from movie updates to TV stuff to comics to books to video game content. I mean, it's pretty wild, actually. And a lot of the people that are in the chat right now are the writers and the content creators. So it's super cool. So go check that out. And then in the meantime,
And we just got identified as a Google publisher.
yeah,
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
So all our content
Yes.
gets distributed by Google. So if you're into Google News, go follow CouchSoup, join,
Yes.
become one of them buddies. We'd
Yeah.
appreciate that. Drew, hit him up with a link.
so
I got it. I already got you with your link. Your link's already
that's
in
a
there,
got me
buddy.
with the link.
I got you with the
You got it?
the link.
I like Wojak. That's a definitive no on mule tickles. Well, there's still mule tickles is in the works, guys.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
don't.
Never
That
say
URL
no
will
on
Different
mule
kind of
tickles.
content
That
on
URL will not
tickles
go to
for
waste.
sure.
No.
I don't know what it'll be, or if it'll be not safe for work.
Oh, we know. We
But,
know. It'll be.
We got to go get some videos of people just tickling mules.
No,
Yes.
no, I mean, you feel free. That's on you.
Yeah. I'm not finding that.
Since
I
you're
already
with the
have
camera,
a weird search history.
Just
I don't think
stand
I'd
behind
find
the
people
animal,
here,
like
so-
right behind it, while someone tickles. I just want to see.
Hey, Ethel, that white-haired guy's in the field again tickling Bessie. Go get my shotgun.
Yeah, I told him not to violate Bessie.
Nah,
There he
poor
goes
Bessie
again.
hasn't seen action since
But
19
Bessie
Fred,
likes
so
it.
might as well. You know what I
I
mean?
hope you asked consent. Bessie. Wow, and
Oh,
on
and
that
the Me Too
tangent,
movement.
I have no segue. I have no segue to
No.
Halo, but I'm gonna find a way to do it. And Halo, there's a Bessie.
Kevin with two E's says that he'll be paid. I'll be paid to tickle mules. Let's talk, PJ. There you go.
Yeah,
You got a
there you
content
go.
creator for
There's
your
always
tickle
someone. There we
song.
go.
Nice.
There's someone out
Thanks,
there.
Kevin with
You
two
can be
E's.
paid. You can basically buy anything these days.
I guess so. And
I
now
mean,
we.
you know.
So now you're going to cut to saying there's a person that's got a 24-hour Twitch stream where they're making about $27,000 a month. They tickle mules. They fucking love it, man.
I will
So does
sue
my
that person.
following.
They will be. Those are gonna cease and desist order.
TikTok.
There's
an only
actually
mules
people on
somewhere.
Twitch.
Like, there's an only mules
Have
somewhere.
you seen this thing? People on Twitch now, they put their study sessions on Twitch.
Yeah.
So they're just sitting there studying
Yeah. and
silently.
Uh-huh.
Like, so you're there silently with somebody.
You're
That's
burying
just
the
like-
lead, PJ. That was going to be one of our new content ideas.
Oh.
What about streaming of sleeping in class? Does that
Yeah.
exist?
Just
I would
sleeping.
watch like a come edit with me, so it's just Stephanie editing and we're just watching. Like,
I'd
just
actually
I
watch
would
that.
actually watch that.
Yeah.
I'm
My
going to
weird
stream
facial
myself
expressions.
sleeping, and you can just use the sound as white noise
That's
in your
also
room
a
to fall
thing.
asleep.
That's also a
Fuck
thing on
off.
TikTok.
Are you
No, I'm not
serious?
even joking you. That's a thing on TikTok. It's sleep streaming. Yep, that's a thing.
Oh my god.
TikTok is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I also
it's
believe
great.
Amaranth
Yeah.
is on Twitch
Terrible.
sometimes. Don't quote me. She
Anybody ever
did or
watch
she does.
Idiocracy? That's where we're at. It's Idiocracy. You ever watch that movie?
I have
No,
not.
Oh,
Well, should we?
You've
have I?
never watched Idiocracy, where the world devolves.
No, I have.
And
That's the one
everybody
where the
gets
president
stupid.
is
Yeah,
what's his
that
face?
wrestler guy.
The wrestler guy. Yeah, I have seen that. It's been
That
a while.
wrestler guy?
Yeah,
He's a
it's-
wrestler that becomes
I'm on
the president.
IMDb. Let's. Oh.
Yeah, it's actually
Wow.
pretty funny. It's silly, stupid, but
It's scary.
Luke
It's
Wilson.
a horror movie.
My
It's
Yeah,
really,
because
it's
it actually
really a
comes
horror
true in
movie
real life.
because it's getting real close.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, no,
Oh,
thank
man.
you.
All right. So what
So
are we
let's-
doing today? King Kong?
Yeah, so I'll set it up here. We got Halo, guys. I mean,
Oh.
I since 2001, right? Halo, the first Halo Combat Evolved, came out for the Xbox. I mean, that game basically reinvented the first-person shooter for video games at the time. But I guess what made it popular, I think, was the fact that it was this great shooter, but it had like an amazing score. Like the scores and amazing. It had actually a really cool like story with like interesting world building. And I guess like ever since then, and then you have the Master Chief, which has like the cool badass like helmet with like the gold visor and the super cool armor, energy shields, dope weapons.
And it had great gameplay. It was
Yeah.
a great multi-person
Oh, it
game.
was such a fun game. And I mean, since that day, I think everybody's been clamoring, be like, we want a live action version of this. And 20 years later, here we are. We get the live action version of Halo as a TV series on Paramount Plus, along with, I think, Amblin Entertainment is actually Steven Spielberg's. Entertainment is a part of this as well. They're making that dream a reality. So, and they finally dropped a kind of full trailer. They put a teaser out in December or November or December, I forget. It was very little
Probably
footage,
around the
but,
launch of Halo Infinite, I presume. So around.
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, like right around there. So we got our best. This is our best look at what this live action that everyone's been clamoring for 20 plus years of bringing Master Chief to life in the Halo universe. And that's where we are now. Are you guys excited about Halo, like a live action Halo?
I'm so worried they're going to fuck it up.
I honestly forgot they were making one. Like, I forgot that this, and then you were like, hey, let's discuss Halo. And I'm like, we discussed Halo Infinite's been out. I had no idea what you were talking about until I downloaded it. I still have not watched it. I'm going to do live action. But I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot this was a thing. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So
It got passed around. It's been in development since 2015, right?
Yeah.
And Peter Jackson.
wow.
Peter Jackson. He's not on it anymore, right? Now it's over on Spielberg's. Amblin is doing it, which is interesting because Spielberg takes a very schmaltzy, heartfelt approach to things. And inside the Halo story, is there, like Halo, the Master Halo, is they going to sympathize his story? Like where Spielberg always does that, right? He always gets somebody
I wouldn't say. I mean, Spielberg owns Amblin Entertainment, but this doesn't have.
He's not involved in the directing.
I don't
of
think
it.
he's much involved, other than maybe like helping them bring in as a producer, executive producer, bringing in like some named people. But
I gotta do my research.
yeah, I don't think he's really bringing his aura to this, like his expertise in that sense. He's kind of leaving this to probably people that know that world better.
I think it's interesting.
There's a lot
that,
about
he
John's
wouldn't be involved.
backstory, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that he wouldn't be involved, though. With something so big like Halo. Like, Halo's a massive franchise. Like, even if you'd never played it before, like I hadn't until just, like, the Halo Infinite, you would still know what it is, and you understand that there's this heavy weight behind it. It's the same, kind of similar with Uncharted. Like, the Uncharted movie, it's got a massive following behind it, and there's a heavy weight on that film. It's likewise with Halo, if not 10 times worse. So, in terms of the weight, God, not that it's a worse thing. Jesus, don't come for me comments. But I just think like it's interesting that Steven Spielberg's company would be involved in this, but he wouldn't feel the need to be like, hey, I want in on that. Like that's going to be a really big opportunity. Maybe they're scared.
Yeah, I think
Maybe they're scared to touch it.
I think he's just the executive producer.
Who knows what his role is here? Again, Amblin Entertainment is just a production
I
company.
like that they're using the original voice for Cortana in the TV show. That's cool. Where they bring the game people over.
It's
and Face too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Jen Taylor, it's really cool. I mean, Steph, have you been excited about are you big Halo? You're not a big Halo fan, right?
I thought this was Beyonce.
Yes.
That's the only way I can get you to show up. I tell you, hey, we're watching the new Beyonce thing, and you're like, oh, sweet, and then I pull the rug out from under you, and
I fell hard. I have no idea. The only thing I know is when we've done little playthroughs with Marisa. And so I know nothing. It looks like a lot of fun to play, so I'm curious. I didn't know that there was really like a big storyline to it, so I'm curious to see what the storyline is. And like I recognize some of the actors, so I don't know.
They don't have big people. Like they got one of the showrunners just for one of the seasons is Stephen Kane. I mean, credits include American Dad and The Last Ship.
Yeah, Alias.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It is interesting. The creators, the showrunners, and the cast aren't like you think they would have like. We got to get so and so A-lister to kind of headline this thing. You know, they really went with a lot of I wouldn't say unknowns, but like just people who aren't like the people you would expect to kind of like how Last of Us or Uncharted is like. We got to get Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. You know, they've really trim this down to a lot of more unknowns, up and comers. You know, like not that Natasha.
Well, the original the new director, last thing he did was in 2018. Yeah. He did Robin of that Auto Bathurst, but he did the only Black Mirror episode I did not like.
Which episode?
And that's the one with the pig.
I love that episode.
Oh, I hated that episode.
It's because
it set you up for the rest of them.
Brought you back to your childhood memories.
It did. Squeal like a pig. We'll go make that boy squeal like a pig.
That's right. You gotta really just block that stuff out.
Now I'm extra worried though. Now, my God. Okay, come on.
Well,
roll this up.
What this is about.
Okay, wait. Let me get the link. Hold on. Don't start yet. Jesus Christ! Don't start yet.
He showed up.
I'll go find them interwebs things. All right.
They don't have City Hunter. They don't have the voice actor for the games. No. Most. I think Jen Taylor's the only one who is
Jen Taylor, I think.
from the game.
It's all I've read.
It's a weird thing in the movie world using the game actors. It's like, whoa, we can't do that. We can't get them people with help. They must be ugly. They only do the voice.
You'd be surprised. Some voice actors aren't really built for movie like facing front face. I mean, not that and I'm not saying it's like when you have like something like a Halo and then you have like I think the voice actor who does Master Chief, I think he's like 70 years old. Like it just doesn't quite line up to be the face of.
I see.
So
that's fair.
That makes sense.
Are we ready?
All right, I'm queued.
All right.
Wait, no, I'm unqueued. Wait, hold on, I lost it. Hold on, there we go. No. All right, count this fucker down.
Right.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1, play.
The big Pellman hit off the gate. Love it.
You.
This is cool. This is giving me like Mad Max vibes.
Hero lady.
Huh.
Love that gun.
The Master Chief was enhanced and trained for one purpose.
Oh no, what happened to his back?
Oh, ouch. That looks painful.
He and the other Spartans
I like her.
are our only effective weapons against the Covenant.
Okay. Oh, the energy sword!
He is lethal.
I know that one.
Upgradable.
I know that reference.
And most importantly,
nice.
Controllable.
Covenant forces appear to be excavating some kind of object. When I touched the object, I felt something. I felt different.
What they did to us makes you numb.
And you just decided to help me. Why would a Spartan do that?
She looks badass.
What does one do with a superhuman you're not sure you can trust?
Hello, Master Chief. I'm Cortana.
There she is.
Master Chief recovered something.
Sacred ring. Halo.
Humans. Surrender to the
Oh my God, is that Charlie?
Cortana,
Horde?
I'm gonna need you now. Halo.
Nice.
Win the war.
Oh wow.
Oh my god! Hold the fucking phone. That's Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
I mean, I'm not a big fan. I haven't seen Peaky Blinders, so I don't. But I know of her.
Charlie's from Wexford, from my hometown. Charlie and I were played together, and we used to be in the same drama group and everything together. I fucking love Charlie Murphy. She's gonna win an Oscar one day. She's top-notch,
awesome.
quality actor. I'm here for it. I'm here to support Charlie's fucking career, man. Holy shit, I can't believe she's in that. That's so cool.
It is cool. That's cool.
Tweet at her. What the fuck, Charlie? Holy shit.
Yeah, give her a shot.
God damn, that's so cool. Sorry, everybody, had to nerd out a little bit. Like Swordian.
No, all good.
What else did you dive in there, Pagan? What are you excited about? Halo, the series?
Well, I saw the energy sword.
Yeah.
I know about
really
that.
Cool.
Only because I currently am playing Halo Infinite like multiplayer with people, because everyone got on board this Halo thing, and I'd never really done it before. So I have an Xbox, and I've started playing it, and people are so good with that sword, man.
Yeah.
The melee attacks with that sword, just crazy. So this looks kind of cool. I'm into it. I am into it, not just for Charlie, but also just for Charlie. But it looks cool. It gives me kind of like Mad Maxy vibes, or even Mandalorian vibes. It's kind of like the dirt, the grit, this kind of dystopian world. I like that. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Mandalorian, somewhat spoiler alert, the last episode of Book of Boba Fett, there's actually a ring world that they show on the Book of Boba Fett that looks a lot like a Halo.
Cool.
So it's kind of interesting.
Cool. Holy shit. I'm sorry. I'm still coming off of that.
I loved it. I thought it was
really
freaking
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a huge Halo fan.
Nice.
I think that looked great. I didn't like the daytime scenes. I don't know. I hate science fiction during the day, but once I got inside and all that, I got goosebumps. That looked awesome. I can't wait for this one. I hope it holds up. I hope it's not a piece of shit. You could see the little bit of the Spielberg touch. They really hit into the characters and emotions, but that was awesome. Yeah. I really liked that.
Really? All right. What about you, Steph? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree about like the daylight. Like at first, I felt like a little off. I don't know if it was just the cinematography or like the colors, but I think it looks awesome. I was kind of I always liked Altered Carbon, and that had like a nice dystopian feel. And so like watching this, I was like, oh, this is like Altered Carbon. I was like kind of like, because they had a lot of like the military mixed in with like human life, and it's very different. So this story-wise, like I'm intrigued. I think it looks really cool, and I like some of the effects, like when he walks into that I don't know, it's cave or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about, but he like touches something really, and like all this blue light like comes up, and just like all the different little effects. Like I know for fans, it's probably like something like all these little cool hints, like I don't even know the words, but
yeah, like, I'm sure there's a ton of Easter eggs in here. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a like I know enough about Halo. Like I played like the first few games, but like there's probably a ton of stuff in here even I'm not aware of. I'm on the fence on this. I'm not 100% sold. I guess I was hoping for something a little bit more grittier. This feels too I don't know. I guess it feels TV. I don't know why. It feels like a TV show versus like something more cinematic. There are a few shots that are really cool. I guess I just wish it had more, like a more of a stamp on like a look or something. It feels like a very polished, like flat. Like there's areas where it just feels like everything's so crisp. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess I want it to feel a little bit more gritty and warlike. But
is that because of those daylight scenes? Because even Daniel talks about what the bad effect that those daylight scenes has. It just made it. When that came on, I was a little bit like, what they just do.
Yeah, and there's like some stuff in there when they show the hangar. Like there's like the hangar where you see the drop ships and stuff. Where I don't. It feels very like computers. You know, like you're like, hello green screen. I don't know. You know, it just there's moments where it doesn't feel like it's the budget's there to give this its like a look and feel and a stamp of like, hey, this is unique or something different I haven't seen before. That said, it looks fun. It looks like I'm gonna watch this like because I support anything that's sci-fi. And the Halo story is so cool. And I love the villains. I love the idea of like the Covenant and I think in the second game when they brought in the Arbiter, that was like a great story mark. But I think a missed opportunity is they use like what was it, Phil Collins here, and they're like, you have literally one of the greatest scores ever composed for video games. Like it's the most iconic. Like you hear that like chanting and like it's Halo. Like I could hear that in like 5 rooms over and be like, you're playing Halo, and they don't use it in this trailer. It just seems like
I wonder if that is that because they don't the people that made it just didn't play the game, or they just don't understand that.
I doubt it. I don't know why. I feel like it's just marketing, not understanding how to market video game movies, right?
There's no way a marketing company just overlooked the fact that the Halo soundtrack is iconic. Like they've done this on purpose. Maybe
it's not in here. Then what's the reason? I mean,
maybe they're going to be in the next trailer or something.
Yeah,
or
maybe they're not.
I don't know. I feel like that would make it up the hype a little bit more. Like I feel like if you put it in there, I think it would definitely change the feel.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake not to use it. What are those little characters called? The Ungoys, or what are those little funny characters called? They didn't show those because those are comical.
Is that not the right thing?
The grunts. You're
but they
talking
got
little grunts that run away. That actually run away in the game.
Guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're weird looking.
They're great.
Yeah.
Ungoys. They're called Ungoys or something.
Are they?
Yes.
They're called grunts. But
I found an image now. Oh, they're cute.
Yeah. They sort of like
slightly terrifying,
and they kind of run away. It's really cute.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be great.
I think regarding the music, I think that they'll put it in the show. I don't know why they wouldn't use it in marketing. But
I don't know. Do they not have the right? I don't know.
Maybe they don't have the
very
rights.
curious.
Right.
Like,
now that Sony bought Bungie, who knows?
I'm out.
Good.
Well, Bungie doesn't own.
That's true.
Bungie
I
doesn't
thought Bungie
own,
made Halo, didn't they?
They did, but they don't own the IP. Microsoft does, right?
Yeah, but
they
they
just
would
make
have
the game.
had to get the rights for the IP anyway to make the series. So maybe it's just something particular regarding the song.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you license music like you would license anything, but I mean, it's in all the games, and they own the IP for the games and the music within the game. So I don't know. Who knows what deal they made, but
I don't know.
It just seems like they jumped on the trailer hype of like we have to have a pop culture 80s song in here to make the trailer
because that's what everybody else is doing. That's what happens when the fucking studios all get involved and make dumbass decisions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what'd be cool, dude? Let's get Phil Collins. Everybody's using old songs. Let's get Led Zeppelin. They've done that too many times, and plus it's too expensive now. Okay, Phil Collins hasn't done this.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cool.
It's a great song.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It could be cooler with the Halo music. I don't know, and it would have felt
been
more cinematic. I thought with the Halo music in there.
I will say.
I know. I'm watching it, and then do you go out to TV show, like lower your expectations a little bit? Do you do that?
So, but you have TV nowadays where it's just like prestige television where it's so good. I mean, you have shows like The Expanse, and you have shows like
you love that show. I haven't been able to get into that show.
It's so good. Yeah, I mean, you just have some really great television out there. So the competition is stiff, right? So I think you have to come out with a great product, especially when you're doing something so iconic as Halo.
I liked first Halo the best, and then even with the game, they didn't have confidence to keep going. All they had to do was put out new maps, but instead they had Call of Duty or Metal Gear was out at the same time, and they changed the scope of the guns in the first one. I was really disappointed where it went. And unfortunately, I don't play it anymore now because you have to play it all online, and you get some little 12-year-old that's kicking your ass all the time, yelling shit at you, making penis comments. I was just like, I don't fucking want to play this.
You gotta just like
I still have 4 Xboxes, the old ones, all land together so that you can play like in the same room. You don't have to go online anymore. And I bought, because we were always arguing about lag, I bought like 1,000 gig LAN server. It cost me a fortune. It's still sitting at the back of the studio, Drew. It's that white box that I won't throw away because it costs so much money, just so that we can link the 4 Xboxes together, so that there was no lag, because we're always yelling at each other. I shouldn't have died, man. My system's lagging out.
So you just got rid of lag.
I played every day from Sunday dinner time till Monday morning sunrise for 2 years straight. Oh, wow. Didn't miss a day.
Wow.
Holy
shit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That's how I met Alan. He had to audition because Nathan lost a guy on the team, so he had to audition somebody, and he was working with Alan on this new TV show. You might have heard of it, called Firefly, and they were Nathan and Alan hit it off. He's like, "Do you play Halo?" And Alan's like, "I don't play video games." So, "Well, you're coming over to my friend's house. I need a third." So,
that's cool.
Cute. A long time ago.
I love that. See,
I'll tell you my one Halo story that's going to be incriminating on me, but my kids don't watch this show. It got epic on what we used to play, right? Like, that's how Nathan got hooked up with Halo. They heard how we were playing. We'd go to sets. We'd wire movie trailers together so we could play against each other. And we always used to have it at my house. And Nathan would be sometimes, "Come on, let's have it at my house." And so one time we went there, and he needed a third or a fourth. We're up to four now, and he had brought over the guy that won the first Project Greenlight, Peter somebody. Can't remember what his name was. So, anyways, he's playing on one team, Nathan's team. I'm on another team, and somebody decides to make pot cookies, and they serve them on a plate, right? So, like a big plate of pot cookies.
So when someone comes by, with
hot cookies, like with cookies,
why were cookies being served on a plate?
Here you are.
So I took 2 or 3, and I started eating these cookies, and I'm fucking on my finished my third one, and I say to Misa, "Misa, these would be good with ice cream. Maybe we should put 2 together and put some ice cream in between." And as I see that, Nathan walks by and goes, "Hey, just use a little bit of these. It's a new batch, so they might be a little strong." Like, I'm just like,
I've had 17 cookies,
and
I'm going to die.
I got so high that I found a new map in Halo. And I'm playing in the game, and I'm like, "Guys, I found a new map. I unlocked a special map in Halo." And Nathan tells a story where all I am is I'm standing in a corner just running, and people would come up to me and like punch me and kill me. And because I'm in the corner, everything looks weird. And I'm like, "I'm in a new map." And I'm like walking around, but I'm just getting killed over and over again. And then it got to the point where it was so bad, I said, I got to lay down. I don't feel too good. And so I went and laid down in Nathan's room, and I'm really starting to get, like, I'm getting so high. I see death at the door. Like, I really am. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm not ready yet. I'm too young to die. Don't take me." And
you're like,
Peter is now playing against Nathan and his team, and he's losing, and he starts screaming, and he starts yelling, and then he wins a game, and then he's like a really bad winner, and like I'm cuddled up on Nathan's bed, and I think it's my parents, and they're yelling and screaming at each other, and I'm like, "Come on, Mommy, Daddy, please, take that alive."
Wow.
Oh
It's
my
got
God.
really sad.
Trips that I went through. Well, I was, oh my God. I couldn't eat edibles for years after that. It was so bad.
No.
And we were at a party later on, and Nathan goes, "Hey, he's a big guy. He should know better than that."
He's a big guy. Yeah, he's an adult.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that'll show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew somebody in college. They brought crispy
ice cream cookies out of pot cookies is
No.
maybe not the best.
Especially in your 23rd.
Yeah, and whatever you do, don't put pot cookies on a plate. PJ will eat all of them. You have to
Yeah, we don't bring out a
individually wrap
plate
them.
like 30 of them.
No.
Oh my God, that doesn't mean say, "Hey,
Yeah.
eat part of one." That's like,
No.
"Hey, grab a few."
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just
I actually
taking
had
the
to
whole
process
pile.
this for a minute. I'm like, but how else would you ever be served
know.
cookies? And now
Yeah,
I understand
no,
what you mean.
now it
Somebody
makes
should have
sense.
served them with like a disclaimer. Like,
Yeah, it should
"Hi,
come
you
with like a
have
little
part
like,
of one,
Just
or
have a
half one."
little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit of
message.
one.
Yeah. Maybe don't.
Can you
Otherwise, you're
imagine
gonna
if
meet
I had the
Jesus.
fourth one with the ice
Yeah.
cream? Oh my god!
Yeah, you would have. Might not have been a good night. I mean, it
No,
already
I
sounds
really
like it
did. I
wasn't.
really did think I saw death. I can picture in my mind
And
to
you
this
discovered a
day.
new secret level in
And
Halo,
Yeah.
Halo, yeah.
which is actually just death.
Yeah.
Halo, the death level. Wow. I don't even know how to segue out of that
Wow.
story.
No.
You know, I do think it's a good time. I know we have some people that are way smarter and know more about Halo than we do. If there's anybody in the audience and at Riverside that wants to kind of chime in and talk about the Easter eggs, I've read just a little bit. I realize, or at least in the description too of the trailer, they talk about this is not canon, as in canon that we recognize from the games. This is actually, they've like done an alternate timeline called the Silver Timeline, I guess based on the team name. This is like his other Spartans that join him are Silver Team. So that gives them the ability to kind of do whatever they want here, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it sounds like they're going to continue to like still tell a similar story, but they're not beholden to like, oh my god, we made this person different, or this person's a female versus male, or this character made a different decision here. They can make those changes without people screaming at them, I guess, from like, it's not canon, like Star Wars people like me like get pissed off. So I think that's kind of interesting. I mean, what do you think about that?
It's the first one. They get to kind of invent the canon. Like when you have so much television and books and everything. Although there are a lot of Halo books, they're
and those are considered canon. Those books are considered like part of the story.
They're a little hard to read. They're like, I love science fiction. They're hard sci-fi, military style books. They're tough. Yeah, they're tough. I've tried a few. Hey, why does it say we have 5 people?
Yeah, I think someone's in the audience. If they want to.
Hey, you like that segue, huh?
Maybe someone could bring us into topic. Maybe.
Let's see. Maybe. Yeah, if you just click the join, I think it's
Rampant Monkey, Halo Reach audiobook, 11 hours. Oh, I should try to listen to that.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's an easier listen.
Oh, audiobooks would be good.
A little thing, the Softwire, the books, those 4 books, they have rings in them. Those were based because I was playing a lot of Halo back then.
Yeah.
So the rings are based on the Halos. They're stolen from those Halos.
Yeah.
They were actually a little bit stolen from Ring World too, but still.
Yeah, I mean they're actually scientifically like proven to be a pretty viable source. Like if you wanted to like build a
for gravity, especially if you put them in the Lagrange points between a moon and a planet, they don't need as much energy to stay in orbit, and with enough spin they can have their own gravity and they don't float away.
Right.
So there's good science behind it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And it's I guess it's hard. Even in the games, it's hard to kind of like when you see one of those rings. I thought Star Wars did a really good job late in the latest Book of Boba Fett of like showing kind of like the scale of how big those rings could be. Just from because they're like literally mini cities. There was another movie with Matt Damon, Elysium. Is that the name of that movie? Where there was
I haven't seen it, but yeah, that's
it wasn't quite a ring.
Was it a ring or a disc?
It was, I forget, but it was sort of like another. It might have been a disc, but it was something in a similar fashion where people lived, like the elite lived on this like sort of ring.
Oh,
space.
That's what you're talking about. Got it.
Yeah.
I think they did that in Interstellar too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Kind of.
In Interstellar, it was like a ship that had like a cylinder in it, and they lived on the inside of the cylinder of the ship. That kind of like so it spun. It was kind of like if you're a Star Trek fan, it was like Doomsday Machine almost, but with like inner world.
Where's this person?
And then what about 2000 Space Odyssey? Didn't they
Just
have?
messaging them now.
Yeah, or no? I guess it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it wasn't quite.
Well, the Ringworld series, the famous Ringworld series of books. Remember by Terry Pratchett?
I never read those, mate. Are they good?
Yeah. They're a long time. They're from the 70s.
Terry Pratchett's awesome. Terry Pratchett. He's done a lot of great sci-fi. Yeah. No. I know there's probably a lot of people concerned about the look of Cortana. I mean, here we see her. This is actually Jen Taylor, which is great. I'm glad they brought her in. to not only like be the actor for
Discworld,
Cortana,
not Ringworld, Discworld.
but the voice. But she looks different, right? In the game, she's more like hologram. Here, they kind of put a like a blue filter on her. It's not quite hologram-esque. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I know there's a lot of people aren't really crazy about the look.
That's what she looks like.
But I'm glad they got her to like someone, because she's such an iconic part of the game. And really, if you think about it, a lot of the heart of the game, you know, there's even almost like a relationship between Master Chief and Cortana that you kind of like, there's something there. It's kind of cool. So there's a lot of like emotion there. So I'm glad they brought her in, because I think she does a great job in the games to kind of bring that in. But yeah. I do think we're going to get a lot more backstory. They brought in the doctor. I'm blanking on her name now. Catherine Halsey. Yeah. So I think we're going to get a lot more of like how Master Chief was made, and what like his backstory is, and like why it was created. Because in the games, I guess the books do a better job of sort of like diving into that realm of, you know, what the backstory of like why Master Chief exists and the Spartans exist. Or in the game, you kind of just assume he's a super soldier and you're there to just wipe out the Covenant.
We have to make a correction. So we mixed two things: Ringworld and Discworld. So Ringworld was written by Larry Nevin, and Discworld was by Pratchett. The Discworld is actually discs on the back of big turtles. He smoked a lot of drugs. The people in the comments figured that out. So sorry, I screwed up two great pieces of fiction.
Oh, sorry. If you are in the chat right now and you're a member on CouchSoup.com as part of the Circle community, if you go ahead and to Trailer Talk, there is a link to join us live to discuss Halo. I know that we did have a member interested in coming on the show, and I think they may just have some issues trying to get on, but I'm trying to get in touch with them at the moment. But in the meantime, if anybody is interested in coming into technical difficulties, permissions for camera. Okay.
Yes. The permissions. You
yeah,
have to allow your computers to spy on you in order to.
Yes.
That is
join
the
us. It is. You have to install Cortana, and then also Siri, and then they battle, and whoever wins
LimeWire too
becomes sentient, and then they take over your brain, and then you can join us on CouchSoup. It's very complicated, but in the end, resistance is futile. I mean, gosh, I don't know. I'm on the fence, guys. I'm on like,
really?
I don't know.
It. I think it looks cool. I think
I want more Covenant and more like bloody like badassness and Halo jumps with the sword and I don't know. I don't know.
There was a split second of what I assume was blood on the helmet.
True.
You know, so that was like a little bit. So maybe
blood.
they're keeping a lot of that out to for the next trailer and to get more of like the grit.
Maybe.
I'm curious if like they still have some like final touches to add to things, I'd hope color wise like there's some things I would shift.
Yeah, you show them, Steph.
Okay.
oh my gosh.
I will say though, like on the color, I have seen a few comments here as well that people are kind of annoyed with how Cortana looks.
We got Hoot in.
Hey, Hoot. Hold on a second.
Gotta change our screen.
All good.
Screen changing.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
I like your shirt.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello Kitty.
Nice. I see what you did there. Because it's like Hello Kitty, but with Halo.
Halo. Yeah.
No, I'm hip. I'm cool. I'm done with the.
I'm hip. I'm cool.
Where are you?
Down with the
I know
kids.
the things.
Oh, I'm just here in the game room, the office at the house.
Nice. I love that he's got a Halo Kitty T-shirt. That's
Where
so
have you
cute.
been?
Give Bob Author a run for his money. I'm worried about what I'm going to see in that back room there when the outside the door.
Oh, when the door opens.
Is that a hand falling around with the carpet?
Yeah. Get back into your death room.
Stephanie.
Hello.
Nice. Welcome
So,
on, Hoot.
Well, yeah, just had some technical difficulties getting the camera to work and stuff like
man,
that.
all good. We'll break it down, man. What are you thinking of this Halo, this live action TV series? I clearly you're a fan.
Well, I feel like they're gonna twist it and ruin it by trying to add some outside element that nobody would ever get or have fun with. No, I don't know. It's
I would watch that.
No, personally, no. I'm pretty excited for it myself.
Yeah.
And part of it, I think, is that whole idea of it being, the silver timeline sort of an idea, because it is sort of these, there's a lot of story that could be told. You know what I mean? With these characters and with the myths and the legends and the mythology that's been built around the game, the storyline leading up to even the first game. This guy was like a soldier for 25 years before the events of the first game. So there's so much story that could be told with these characters, and like the imagery with the guy with the scars on his back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what was done to them as children. To turn them into super soldiers in the mythos of the game.
It's not just a cool tattoo. It's actually like
yeah, it's the price of freedom.
Hoot! Someone's escaping! Quick! Someone's getting away! Quick! Behind you!
They already escaped.
Yeah.
I missed it.
The door's open. Close it.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what
you can replace Drew in the show now.
Yeah, I mean, and he's better looking and has cooler nerd shirts. So
yeah,
nice.
You're not wrong
but your beard is so much better.
Thanks.
And that is...
What do you? So I noticed in the trailer, and maybe you have some insight. I'm not aware of like sort of like a human antagonist. Like we see somebody like walking through a ship, like, and it looks like she's controlling these like tentacle things. Do you have any like insight into that, or like what that might be, or who that is?
Okay. In the game, the big bruiser aliens, the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Right. Big pink squishy with purple armor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the pink squishy is actually a whole lot of different worms. Like they're essentially
really?
they're like a hive organism. So they can assume forms based on just kind of tying their own bodies together to make mass.
That's cool.
But they can also function. They can also function as just a big swarm of squirmy worms.
Yeah, but it looks like here they're like taking over people. Like
they're snatching people up because that's what they do.
No.
Oh, so they actually do that. Oh,
that's
okay.
a horror
remember that.
film right there.
No, thank you.
They actually eat not people, but they actually eat technology. Like,
come on, Boba Fett doesn't have this shit. This is awesome.
That is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Who is Charlie Murphy? Is Charlie Murphy walking through there? Like she's not being eaten.
Now, and I am not 100% up on the lore, as far as having read every single book, but I've tried to keep up as best I can with the stories that are connected to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I get too much into it with the game stories, I'm going to give away something that might be in the TV show. But then I'm kind of hoping, I'm kind of hoping at this point that that's why the TV show is doing what it's doing. That they're going to take us into storylands that we've already got the pieces.
Right.
Now we can get different stories. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm excited for.
Especially if they do the prequel part. Or actually, in the Halo 1, though, he wakes up not knowing why he's there, right? Like it's his first assignment being controlled, isn't it? In the very first Halo 1?
It's his first real pairing with Cortana.
Yeah. Because he's a little bit like, where was I? What happened? Where's my... he's very disoriented when he arrives in the first Halo 1.
Yeah. When he first wakes up, he knows he was sent on a mission. He knows what his mission is, but now the mission has changed. But it's also his first use of Cortana.
Yeah,
I'm going to play Halo 1 right now.
He kind of just
I play with my 11-year-old because I can beat her and I feel better. So but she doesn't play very well.
I mean, my understanding of it in the lore is that there is, there's a reason why humans were never invited to join the Covenant. The Covenant being a whole bunch of different alien races that are all basically worship the technology of the Forerunners. And
the Forerunners are we see a glimpse of them maybe in the trailer. Don't we see them behind? Like there's a shot where there's people are staring in the trailer. If I could find it on my screen real quick. It's like there's like a big flower behind, and there's like 4 people that look like they're being, and it looks like the arbiter, or at least an elite, is walking up to them in the trailer. Is that the same?
I think that's probably the prophets.
The prophets? Okay.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
It's this one. Hold on a second.
But
it's a beautiful shot. It looks like
I know we're messed up.
Who's going to frame by frame this one?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's some like, if anything, if they do anything right in this series, which some of this gives you a glimpse of, from what I remember in Halo, when you walk into some scenes in some places, like the level design or the game design was just epic. Like they did a really, like the things felt very alien, but also really beautiful and smart. Like it felt like it was there's a reason for everything. So I want that to kind of continue on into the show where it just feels epic in scope, and there's a few shots that feel epic in scope, and I hope. But the problem is like a lot of the footage they showed, in my opinion, again, it's like on this dusty world, and he's fighting like rebellion, and it just feels small. It doesn't feel epic.
It
like
feels
I remember
cheap.
Halo.
It feels like a Star Trek episode from back in the day. That I think it really weakens it. As far as making a trailer, why starting there? I mean, I can see because they're trying to do the kids element of it, but it looks shitty when it do it in that daytime with the red dirt, and then and it looks so fake.
And there's even a shot of like a guy, and it looks like he's wearing like he's holding like a cheap AK-47, and it's literally like 200 years in the future.
Lop the whole beginning off, and start at 22 seconds after the Paramount logo. Start the trailer there,
right,
and then you're going to have a much better trailer.
Well,
Hey, somebody write a note to Paramount, get them to fix that, will you?
Yeah,
they'll listen to us. We're trailer talk.
Trailer talk. God damn it!
That's part of why I'm actually really excited. Like the things that you guys just pointed out, it's all true, but it's actually part of why I'm kind of excited. Because like I was talking about, there was that 25 years of military service for the Master Chief that preceded us ever meeting him in the first game, right? Well, part of that, the whole reason why the Spartans were created was to fight human insurrectionists, not alien wars.
Yeah.
So you had the outlying colonies where if you've got a machine shop and a halfway decent forge, you can make an AK-47. See what I'm saying? So like the insurrectionists, in the Halo universe are basically these outlying colonies. It's kind of got a Firefly-ish kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it does.
Where the outlaws and the scoundrels all live out on the outer rim, kind of a thing.
On the ring, outer rim,
and that's what the Spartans were originally created to fight. So
So no, you've gone back. Just going back to your previous point, you said that like there's a reason that they never invited the humans to join the Covenant. And obviously it looks kind of like Charlie Murphy's character here is the villain, and she's using the worm things. So has she? And then I think isn't her line something like about the Covenant, like submit or something? So is that the bit that you were kind of like, I don't want to spoil anything, I'm gonna step away?
Well, that's actually the part I know the least about, really.
Oh, okay.
But it's there is lore in the stories of humans that were, say, captured on off-world colonies or interrogated or ultimately basically converted to the Covenant religion.
Oh, wow.
So
the Covenant, in this scenario, the Covenant's been around for they've discovered as they've expanded into space, the Covenant's been around. Like they've discovered the Covenant's been around for a while.
Yeah,
humanity was not allowed. Humanity was not allowed in the Covenant because the humans were a race chosen by the Forerunners to carry on their legacy.
Exactly.
So the Covenant worshipped the Forerunners, and the prophets knew that if it became public knowledge that humanity were the Reclaimers, they would likely not only lose power, but the entire political system of the Covenant might collapse.
There you go.
Well, there you are. There you have it. Thank you.
I have no idea what you just said. But it
was Me neither. I just read it off the internet.
Really
but that's why I like seeing those scenes of them, these little off-world, looks like there's some little hard scrabble backwater town on some little dinky moon somewhere. And now you've got Spartans dropping in the middle of it, and it's like, okay, are they there to take out the town, or are they there to defend the town?
Right.
You know,
I think they're taking a lot off the books, because if you look at there's a lot of the stuff that's coming from the books.
I would imagine so. Yeah, it's kind of like, even like you look at what Mandalorian and even Book of Boba Fett. There's a lot of moments that they've pulled from like the larger universe, whether it's the comics and the books. Even though a lot of that's been said not canon, but they're bringing it back in as canon in their own way, right? So it's very interesting. Like, it's a very interesting time to be, I guess, a nerd who had been reading and consuming all this content, and to kind of like see all of that stuff kind of come to life for TV, especially for streaming, which is really cool. We have Wayne that wants to join us.
Oh, nice.
So he's got some Halo lore and Easter eggs to drop. Can we bring him in too?
Yes.
Or?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, I wouldn't affect anything on my end.
All right, let's bring in Wayne. If he's there, buddy, are you there?
Yeah.
There he is.
I love the name.
Hello, Wayne.
No, that wasn't meant to be my name. That was meant to be a message I put into the chat. Riverside boggles me. I don't know what the crack is with this thing.
It's not the first time
it's
that's
okay.
happened.
Yeah,
it's
it's
all
like
good, all good.
It's like it was built by a Microsoft team. Who knows?
So yeah, no, Hood is correct, and I completely understand why he wouldn't want to drop too much, because you don't want to spoil too much in it. But there's some really nice nods and winks to Bungie in that trailer.
Oh.
So you see the actual artifact that Master Chief picks up at the start. The symbol that's embedded in that artifact is from Bungie's very, very first game that is linked to the Halo series, Marathon or Durandal, I think it's full name of it. But they actually do pay homage to Bungie in that trailer a fair bit.
No way.
But
I'm forever going to call it Bungie.
Bungie.
It sounds so much better.
That's stolen.
That's what Sony are going to rebrand it. Bungie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this very much looks like it's going to be the Outer Rim Wars first compared to the original game. It looks like it's going to be that, and then all of a sudden the Covenant are going to attack. The one line that got me in the trailer was, "We need to go find Halo." It's like they're specifically looking for the Halo, which isn't something that's in the game. They just happen upon it.
Yeah, he stumbles. They like jump into the almost like run into it, right? Or something like.
In the backstory of that, it's like Cortana kind of knew where she was
kind of knew. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, in other words, they knew there was something big there, that there was something maybe mythical there, but they didn't know what it was really.
Because the backstory to that is like with the Halo Wars games.
Yeah.
There was the original team from that. There's a group of humans in that game that are separate to the Master Chief story, and they're like a good couple of years before Master Chief, and they find the Halo before anyone else, and then they go into a kind of a cryo, or they kind of lock themselves down or are lost in space, so you don't find out about them until later, and that actually links in with Halo Infinite, which is the latest game. So there's a lot of back and forth in the lore in the games and the books that I think they're taken from. I think it was really interesting that they cast Natascha McElhone as Dr. Halsey, because she was originally meant to voice Cortana.
Oh, really?
And like anyone that knows their lore with Halo knows that there's a big link between Cortana and Halsey, and who she's like. It's a nice little meta thing that they had where they got her to play Halsey, because it links everything together as far as a fan of the series is concerned.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is kind of cool.
So Natasha or Halsey probably built Cortana is sort of the idea here.
She was the architect of the AI, and she is also the kind of the grandmother of the Spartan series as well. Like, she built the Spartans from the ground up, and she's in charge of kind of making the Spartans. But she's seen as kind of an outlaw in the Halo universe. She's not really.
Because she kidnapped children.
Yeah, so she's like.
I want to watch it even more now.
Yeah,
when did it start? When did it start?
Just a little kidnapping children.
Yeah, it's later in the year, PJ. I think it's like it's. I think we're going to see another trailer before the end of the year with all the Martin O'Donnell scores and stuff. Yeah.
But like, are you guys excited? I mean, as fans of the game, I mean, like, do you care about the Outer Rim War here, or would you rather be like, let's jump into the?
No,
I want to see the Covenant and like Purple Blood and badass like. I don't know. Like,
I want it all, Drew. I want it all.
Everything.
I just want the pistol to be the greatest weapon in the game in the show, like it was in the game. Like as long as he takes out like 50 dudes with the pistol at long range, then I'm good.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be. I think they're doing it right. I think going that early, like as in that early in the story for Master Chief, gives them the ability to be able to build on him as a character before he even meets Cortana. Now, more than likely, he'll have Cortana before the end of the second episode. But
sure,
it's just even that they were hinting at that you're gonna see Master Chief before the first Halo game.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see him do his thing without her, stumble across a few things. I like that they're making their own timeline because they're not gonna be bogged down in the decades of game lore.
Yeah, I agree.
That fan bases are gonna
that is
you know. It's like every single video game franchise that's turned into some form of TV series or movie is picked apart by the fans because they're like, it's not like the game. Like the Uncharted film is getting picked apart by fans because, you know, Tom Holland isn't Nolan North. You know, it's so already from the get-go it says this is going to be a different animal to what you're used to. So don't expect everything from the games, but we're also going to do something that you haven't seen. So
someone over at CouchSoup predicted that's not going to be that good of a movie.
People need to get used to the idea of a multiverse.
Oh,
yeah.
I wonder who that was.
And it might suck. It might suck. They might completely drop the ball on this one. And as long as I get to see some of like, you know, the purple blood and the big squishy worms and things getting shot
Needler
up.
too.
I went back to look at those worms there.
I'll probably be happy.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm gonna like it. It'll probably get canceled after one season.
I mean, who did you allow? You didn't elaborate on. You said kind of what the worms were, but you didn't. We didn't. There was no spoilers for everything. Like
they look nasty. They look nasty.
Like the stuff that isn't like everyone thinks that it's always funny that people go the Covenant is the big bad when they're not.
Yeah. But the Horde, right, ends up being the big bad.
There's the Flood that are
the Flood.
So it's like, but I mean, there's so many.
I just thought the worms looked better. I thought the worms were a better fit than the Flood when it came to the squishy tentacle jump thing.
Yeah, well, I guess when I remember playing the game, and when the Flood came out of nowhere, right? Like you're playing this game, and then the Flood show up, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like this is insane. Like what is like when I'm playing the game, I'm like, it's like it changes the whole game, like how you play it, your tactics, it intensifies the whole experience. And I guess I want the show to have that same feeling when we first discover the Flood, because I just remember in the game it was just like, holy shit, this is insane. Like what is happening right now?
And it's like that scene in From Dusk Till Dawn. That scene in From Dusk Till Dawn in the bar. Anybody remember that documentary?
Yeah, that documentary. Yeah.
Yeah. The you know, it's like the heist movie criminals on the run until the sun goes down, and then it turns into vampire horror film.
Yeah,
it's like a complete left turn.
Yeah, it was like a buddy cop.
Sounds like my house.
It was like a buddy cop heist film, and then or not cop, but like it was like, you know, two funny dudes, you know, Clooney and
Tarantino.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It's like PJ's Halo story. He was just having a good, happy time playing Halo, and then all of a sudden the cookies came out, and it just took a left turn.
And the Flood.
Yes.
Yeah, not good.
And that's very much like the Flood. Then, really, that was the.
Yeah, I think they're gonna mix it up a bit. I think they're trying not to be predictable, which I think is a good thing. Like, you know, they might swing for the stars and completely miss, but at least they swung.
Yeah, no, I will give.
It's been a long time in the waiting. I think it's a little late. They should have done it earlier when there was more Halo hype. I worry that a lot of the audience has moved on, and they're going to have trouble finding an audience. I think they're relying too much on the fact of what Halo used to be. A lot of games have topped it since. It was 20 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it then. I don't enjoy it now. I don't play it now.
With Infinite coming back, it might. You know, I think Spartan.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think like with Infinite, like just released there in December. It's still early days, like, but when this one's coming out in March, right? I still think there's gonna be plenty of hype around it because I think isn't this the first time you've had some sort of live action, especially with Cortana and everything, and Master Chief and I think people will still engage with this, even if they're like no longer playing the Halo series. I think still people will watch this and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Let me hit that up for some nostalgia ish.
You know where I think my vision on like the live action is a little warped? Do you guys remember they used to shoot like these really amazing trailers, live action trailers for the video games?
Neil Blomkamp did them.
Yeah, Neil, and they were just, I don't know, there was some look, it just looked grittier and darker. I don't know what it was, but it felt more real in a way, like it less polished.
Less
I don't know.
TV
I guess I'm warped by that feel. It felt more cinematic, those things. Again, they were only like 30 or 60 second TV spots, and I think there was even like a leaked like concept piece or something that someone did that even looked really good. Again, I guess I hope this still feels epic because right now it feels very TV. So
it does.
Well, it is made by a TV station, and the networks do have certain parameters that from even how they broadcast the station, how they broadcast the color range. I mean, I don't even know if they do that anymore, but television looks like television.
Yeah. Well,
can I ask actually?
Streaming should be different, right? There's a different.
Should
I
be,
feel like
it's still Paramount.
Because you're not beholden to the same sort of like rules as like television, right? You can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Paramount just wanted to have a streaming service that they could say, oh, we have a streaming service.
Well, that's the thing. The question about that is that we don't have that over here. So we don't have Paramount Plus. We're not yet anyway. So, I mean...
It'll probably be on Netflix for you guys.
Nope. So Paramount Plus have pulled all of their programming off Netflix and soon to pull it off Amazon as well. So we're losing all the Trek shows. We're losing Picard. All that. That's all going away. So yeah, so there's no Discovery. Season 4 of Discovery has not shown up on Netflix and all with it.
Okay.
They're holding it off for Paramount Plus for when it launches here later in the year. So
the battle of the streamers. Netflix has money now, so they're like, pay me, bitch.
I mean, I'm not going to
steal it. Like
I'm not going to fork out, even as a Star Trek fan, I'm not going to fork out money for Paramount Plus. Because it's
I bought it for a day once. I can't remember what I needed it for. I bought it for something I needed to see. I can't remember. I think it was a soccer game. Did you watch
a soccer game?
Soccer game?
Yeah, Paramount had the only soccer game I could find. Like it's like, geez, I can only get on Paramount.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. And
or I probably run out of
the
my
rest of the world. He's talking about
7
football.
days free thing, so I found it on Paramount. Because we got the World Cup coming up again, so I got to do that bullshit all over again.
Sorry, Wayne, it's not cricket.
Sorry.
You guys are into over there.
I'm sorry.
Ironically enough, I played baseball, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Well, guys, this was
we gotta end
pretty
this
awesome. Yeah. I thanks for joining us and like giving us the deep dive because
thank you.
Definitely. I think there's a lot more here, and I think you've kind of showed us how deep this rabbit hole could go. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Trailer Talk's back every Tuesdays at noon.
Seriously, we're gonna do this every week.
I mean,
ready?
some of us are.
I won't.
Bake some cookies for next week, PJ.
Yeah. We'll put them on a plate.
Yeah.
We should do it later so we can at least drink. If I drink at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm so grumpy by 3.
I thought that's why you
just
were
pretend
grumpy.
it's Irish time, PJ. It's 8 o'clock at night. 9
I
o'clock at night here.
got to keep right on drinking.
I mean,
Drew doesn't let me talk to the clients though when I start drinking at lunchtime.
Hi, Steph. Gosh, I didn't even.
Run,
it's like I gotta, like,
Just start drinking at 12, man.
Listen, just end it. Just end the show.
Yes. Okay.
Gosh.
Tell us what we should watch next week.
Yeah, let us know what you want us to react to next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
something awesome.
All right, is this off yet? Are we off?
we're going. Okay, bye, everybody.
Are we finished yet?
Can we
See you next
mute
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.